bienvenidos. Hoy día tenemos unos invitados muy especiales, dos sorpresas de unos músicos artísticos de la nueva era. Aquí también nos acompaña Fausto.
Bienvenidos. Muy bien, estamos contentos, alegres nuevamente estar acá a través de podcast, Fama y Misterio. Qué alegría ver nuevamente Yamari.
Bueno, para comenzar tenemos aquí a Christopher y a Jhohan. Bienvenidos. Queremos empezar con Jhohan. Jhohan, bienvenidos. ¿Cómo estás hoy día?
Muy bien, muchísimas gracias. Gracias por tenerme acá y gracias porque estén acá.
Gracias. Quisiéramos que nos dejes un poquito de tu historia.
Hago música para la gente que le guste el amor o que esté pasando por dificultades amorosas. Pueden ir a escuchar mi música.
Bien, excelente, excelente. Así nos gustaría saber cómo comenzaste con esto de música de las baladas, las románticas, y cómo lo introduciste a esta nueva era.
Bueno, yo vengo de una familia de músicos. Toda mi familia tenía algún vínculo con ello. Todos mis hermanos estaban envueltos en la música de las bandas de marcha. Uno tocaba trombón, el otro tocaba batería, el otro le gustaba rapear. Crecí en ese vínculo y mi mamá era una fan de la música romántica y para planchar. Eso fue como una entrada para mí muy fuerte en lo que respecta al amor y a hacer canciones de amor.
Excelente. Yo también puedo compartir ese sentimiento contigo. Me crié con una mamá que todos los domingos al limpiar la casa, música romántica se escuchaba en la casa, ¿verdad? Volviendo a al comienzo de tu carrera, ¿como a los cuántos años encontraste el amor por la música, por dirigir, por hacer todo eso? ¿A qué edad tú dijiste, a esto me quiero dedicar?
Bueno, yo desde pequeño siempre fui muy curioso y fui muy entrometido en la vida de mis hermanos.
Wow.
Siempre me forzaba en entrar en la vida de ellos y ver qué estaban haciendo y por qué lo hacían y qué tocaban y con quién estaban. Y muchas veces ellos se cansaban de mí.
Uh-huh.
Así fue creciendo como esta idea de lo que yo quería hacer, y mi mamá me decía que a mí me gustaba cantar, pero yo siempre me escondía cada vez que cantaba de chiquito. Creo que todo comenzó desde ahí y desde como que ver la imagen de felicidad de una mamá cuando cantaba. Y ella siempre cuando estaba feliz cantaba. Como que eso me ayudó como a crecer con esa perspectiva.
Excelente. Y ahora con eso que te inspiraste de la música romántica, pero con ese nuevo toque de tu generación, de nuestra generación, ¿cómo lo has podido hacer? Me enteré que estabas haciendo con la nueva tecnología de la inteligencia artificial.
Bueno, yo comencé con el AI utilizándolo con videos. Conecté los videos que grababa para las canciones con programas de inteligencia artificial para recrear ciertos tipos de escenarios.
Uh-huh.
En una de esas canciones se llama Miente, que salió en mi último EP que se llama Distopía, y estoy enfrente de una gitana. Y la gitana cambia a través de fotogramas. Entonces pasa de una foto de ella leyéndome las cartas a otra traspuesta a inteligencia artificial que se va descomponiendo o se va pasando en cartas. Es interesante.
Increíble, increíble. Así que, y estos nuevos proyectos que tienes en mente, ¿estás interesado ahora también con lo que es la música artificial que escucho que está saliendo? ¿Cómo es todo eso?
A mí me gusta más hablar de cómo la tecnología nos está afectando emocionalmente y cómo me gustaría entregarle a la gente preguntas a través de las canciones de cómo lidiar con estas situaciones en las que tenemos que vivir diariamente,
Uh-huh.
en que muchas veces preferimos estar solos en vez de tener a alguien, o muchas personas ya se han cansado de ir y buscar una pareja y deciden estar solos.
Uh-huh.
En cada canción busco relatar historias específicas que me han pasado, que le han pasado a alguien más en la vida.
Ok, así que las historias vienen de un punto personal. A veces para un artista poder expresarse necesita esa avenida, un lugar para poder expresar esas ideas, esos sentimientos que a veces los sentimos, ¿verdad? Pero no sabemos cómo expresarlos. Eso es...
Su familia también es artista. Entonces, cuando eras pequeña, usted miraba a sus hermanos. Entonces, antes que usted iniciara a hacer con inteligencia artificial, ¿tocaba algún instrumento?
Sí, yo tocaba en marching bands. Yo tocaba trompeta, corneta, después pasé a la banda filarmónica de mi pueblo y
Wow.
tocaba trompeta, después me rebelé contra mi hermano y le dije que no me gustaba eso más, que quería tocar guitarra eléctrica, hice una banda de rock y toqué acústicos en el colegio. Y usualmente tú sabes que en los colegios uno en una izada de
Es
banderas
como hobby.
como que todo el mundo es, doing their thing, they're just bullying each other and looking at it, they're not paying attention.
Wow.
Ahí fue como que me di cuenta que era lo mío porque una de las primeras veces que me monté y comencé a cantar y es como que todo el mundo se puso en silencio. Me
Wow.
comenzó a mirar. Y como que uno dice, uy, ¿qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? Something's going on, something's wrong. Pero no, ahí fue como que le comencé a agarrar I wanna do this for my
Entonces,
life.
desde ese momento, cuando en la escuela, en tus presentaciones, te hicieron tus amigos alrededor del círculo, te hicieron bullying, tú daste con más fuerza y entonces iniciaste a hacer más producir, más como ya desde ese momento profesionalmente,
Tomarlo
digamos.
más personalmente,
Serio.
porque pues mi mamá era una mujer que trabajaba todas las noches en una, ¿cómo decir? Acá, I don't know, T-Mobile o Sprint. eh, entonces eran las que agarraban las llamadas internacionales en estas horas de la noche, yo no veía a mi mamá. Y eso como que duré mucho tiempo, todos mis papás trabajaban y yo me la pasaba en la casa solo con un computador.
Wow, así que
Entonces,
eso
o
sí.
estaba jugando o estaba descargando música.
Mejor, creo que es
Yeah.
mucho más productivo expresarse con la música que estar tanto metido. O sea, sí, que le veo el lado también bueno de los videojuegos, pero es mejor producir. Uno se siente hasta más liberado tal vez hasta cierto punto de poder expresarse. Pero muy bonitos sentimientos de toda tu historia y ahora podemos ver eso en tu música, cómo te puedes expresar lo que tenías por tantos años adentro y ese talento ya te has realizado, te das de cuenta que tienes todo esto. Ahora, cambiándolo un poquito al inglés, porque tenemos una audiencia mitad español, mitad inglés, vamos a hacer el code switch. So now that you're doing this in the United States, how is it so different to be from going back home for when things were a little bit different, it was perhaps a tighter community, to now presenting and showing off your music here in the United States with an American audience?
I thought that at the beginning, because, the first time that I got here was with my mom. It was just vacations on December. And the first time that I saw the city through the window of the airplane, I was like, I'm going to live here. Like, that some second thought that comes out of your head that, it's going to happen like that. Like, I didn't even
You were
grumble
ready
or
for the
thought
Big
about
Apple.
it, nothing. It was just like, hey, yo, that it is. And, making music here gave me possibilities, but also was a struggle because I got here just with a dream, with two packs, with two luggages, and nobody. So I used to just get my stuff to a locker box, go to the gym, take a shower, and sleep on the 7th train for like a week until I found a spot, room to live.
Okay.
And I started just looking for jobs and getting like, the survival mode thing for like 2 years until I found a spot in Long Island City next to the MoMA PS1. There's like studios, music studios there. And I started doing music. And I found a friend who's now my manager who helped me to evolve these music that I want to do. Back at that time, I was in Jhohan. I was doing more like an electronic music. I wanted to be a DJ. I wanted to do a different thing.
Yes.
So I would be able to pursue that music career with the help of other people, since being a solo artist is so hard. And 2020 hit it, COVID got here, and all that dream fade out.
Wow.
I did 30, 40 songs. Like, it was like a 2 years queue, working a full-time job and going to the studio, no sleeping, no nothing, but it was rock and roll, and I loved it.
Wow.
I loved it. I got chose by the Paramount Music Showcase in New York between like 100 artists in the city to represent like the Latin American heritage, and that was like the first thing that told me, yeah, you can keep pursuing this. You know, before that it was just like depression, loneliness, and sadness, and bad thoughts in my head. I got to a point where you start planning the end of your personal life, and I don't recommend that to nobody. Don't do that. If you think that you're gonna do that, please find friends. You're not supposed to be alone, and you're a social being.
That's
And
very true.
it's hard because, well, we have chemicals in our brain that nobody tells us that we need to have a balance on it. And I just started having these friends, and I got this friend just right at that point of my life that I was so down.
That's incredible. That's unfortunately, I feel like a lot of people can relate to you, and what happened with the 2020 and COVID. It changed everybody's lives for the better, for the worse. But I'm very happy to hear that you're still creating. You made it out. You had that push, like you said. You got that award. That was like the fuel that seems to fire you to keep you motivated to going. And we're very glad that that was what occurred.
Thank you.
And now going forward, what are the new projects that you're into? And we have Christopher here because we wanted to relate. Both of you guys are into this new music that you guys are both creating. So what can we expect from you guys coming forward with all this new technology that you're both going to be using?
Well, actually, I wanted to bring something up to you. Have you ever thought about performing in the metaverse?
I would love to. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's something I've just found out about recently, that there's concerts that people do in the metaverse where you put on a VR headset and you go to a concert stage, and then people all around the world perform. And the last concert that I performed in, there was a woman from Argentina, and she was at her house with a guitar and the headset on, just playing, and it was awesome. You know, it's really easy to do and get into. So I don't know, it's a really cool way to like expand your audience.
How you do that? Like, just tell us.
And tell
Like,
tell the audience as well. We're curious as
You
well.
just so basically,
the secret.
Yeah, you got to just get a MetaQuest headset, jump on Horizon Worlds. I have a friend, he has a company, Royalty Radio Media, where they do winter jams, summer jams, they call it. And you basically get tickets for it, and then you just attend like you would a normal concert. You go to the venue. Instead of driving there, you just kind of like click on it, and then, you know, you give them your ticket, you go to another area, and then there's a stage, and people go up on there and they perform. And if you're the artist, all you really have to do is just send in your music. They play it for you, and then you just kind of like pretend you're playing it and dance around and interact with the audience.
But what's performing, an avatar or I'm in front of a camera?
It's your avatar. So you're wearing the headset, and you can see where your hands are, and you can like move around like a video game kind of. And you could like point at the crowd. And when I was playing, they gave me like a keytar. So I was like, you know, pretending to play the keytar.
That's so cool.
When people sing or rap, they actually do it in real time. But since I do electronic music, I just kind of like was interacting with the crowd, like, yeah, let's go, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a cool thing. Maybe you could, if you would like to introduce.
I'm down. I didn't even know that existed. So yeah, thank you, Chris.
Here we go. Con tus redes sociales, ¿dónde la gente te puede conseguir?
Me pueden encontrar en todas las redes sociales como Jhohan Music, Jhohan Music.
Y ya saben dónde encontrarlos. Aquí lo vamos a tener abajo en la pantalla. Adelante todo el mundo para que conozcan de este nuevo artista. And we just wanted to leave you off with any words that you would like to tell your audience.
Find people that supports you, that loves you. Don't engage with people that is not reciprocate with what you want in life, and be real with the people that you love. Be bold. Don't be afraid of express yourself just because the other person told you not to. Just compilate a lot of information and a lot of experiences in your life, and ask yourself things. Life is about the journey of enjoying happiness in little parts day by day. Otherwise, you won't enjoy this ride. It's the only thing that we actually have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jhohan. It was lovely to have you here.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys. Thank you,
All right.
Chris.
No problem. Thank you.
Take care.
Cuídese. Christopher Fonti nos viene a hablar ahora de lo que estábamos hablando con Jhohan, del mundo virtual, del metaverse, y cómo hoy en día la comunidad latina se está creciendo en esas nuevas avenidas de tecnología. I would like to start off with the metaverse. What can you tell us about that? We were all very curious when you started that conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, when Jhohan was talking about his whole story about coming into the city and, you know, it being hard to start as an artist in this environment, it kind of resonated with me and made me start thinking, like, wow, when I kind of experienced that as well. It is super hard to do music in the city because it's such an oversaturated environment of artists. You know, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but if you're just starting out and you have nothing, it's super hard. But when you have access to the metaverse, your audience now becomes the whole world, and it becomes a lot easier to just perform and, you know, meet people. And I found that the artists that I meet in the metaverse are super interested in just helping you and collaborating and just bringing each other up. Since it's like, it's not cutthroat like it is in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Like here, it's like, oh, I got to get the gig or else this person's going to get it. Like, no, it's like there, everyone can work together. It doesn't matter where you're from, what genre of music. As long as you're interested in joining, they're gonna welcome you. You know, so
that sounds wonderful.
I
It's
think,
like a very open community that's open to accepting all these new different artists and interests that are very niche, but there happens to be a huge market for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Well, going on from that, how did this relate to now what you are doing? A little bit about you. What are you doing with the metaverse, and how does this correspond to you?
Yeah, so I started a company back when I was in college. It was called Pioneer VR, and that company, I ran it for 8 years as an events company where I would bring virtual reality to parties, bars, weddings, anything that someone wanted to try VR and didn't have the means to do it. They didn't have the equipment. I would come in and I would set up all the equipment, set up the TVs, explain how to play, and make sure they had a good time. And I thought that was a way to make VR accessible to people. That was my mission. Then a couple of years later, we ended up making our own games for these parties and these events. And then that led to some people asking us, hey, you think you could make us an experience to sell our product?
Wow.
And we're like, sure, you know, we already making these games. We might as well branch off. We could do that. So that ended up with us. We started to develop the Egress Pros basement fire escape simulation, which was for this company, Egress Pros. They were the first people to give us a chance to build an app, and it came out really well. You're basically in a basement, and it goes on fire, and you can't escape. But then it restarts, and you get to try it again, but now you have the basement egress window, which is what they do. They install the egress windows, and then you're able to escape, and you escape from the fire. And I think you tried it, and you said it was really scary, which is what we wanted to do. We wanted to make people, you know, feel like, damn, I really do need to buy this because this is kind of scary if it did happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty effective in selling what they do.
That's wonderful. So where would somebody like showcase this VR set? How would they show it to a client?
So a lot of the clients that we've had, we have basically built the experience. We load it onto some headsets for them, and then we give them the headsets, and then they give it to their salespeople. And one big area that they've been using it in, a lot of our clients, is trade shows, where they set up a booth basically, and then people, you know, they're walking by, they see a VR headset, like, oh, what is that, like a VR game? It's like, no, try it on.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're now in basically a commercial that's selling the product to them, but they're immersed in it. No distractions. You know, it's super informative. They learn about the product. They get to experience it firsthand. And it's quick, easy, and then they're out.
Okay.
It's like a commercial.
All right. Yes, I can't wait to hear how this is going to go on to newer projects, because this was just one project. What other projects have you also been working on that it's usable in a commercial settings?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so on our website here, we have a kitchen customization application where you basically are in a kitchen. You get to customize it, and it all uses all hand tracking, so it's, you know, simple. The idea was we wanted to make something that these people could bring to a trade show, put it on someone's head without explaining anything, and it just is intuitive enough that they could just play it. They didn't have to, learn anything. I come from a background of constantly having to explain VR games and controllers and, making sure people don't move. So knowing all that, we designed these experiences so that you wouldn't have to worry about any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
You could just put the headset on somebody and boom, they're in a kitchen. They're popping bubbles to customize the kitchen, and it was all products that this company offers. And so that was a really effective way for them to kind of showcase how a before and after could look for a kitchen design.
Oh, and it's incredible because it's very important to be able to target all ages, from like children to people buying their first homes in their mid-20s, 30s. Then we also have the senior community. So it has to be user-friendly across the board. So making it that is extremely important, not only for them, but also for the one who's going to be showcasing it. Like you said, you've had experience with that. So that's very important. And I'm glad to hear that you're making it more user-friendly for people like me who absolutely need it to be kept at a very basic level.
Mm-hmm.
And I also wanted to talk about how you are able to collaborate these two worlds in yourself, in your mind. So you have this artistic side where you're doing music on the metaverse. And then on the other side, you're building this VR set. How is one tool like a VR set so versatile? What is your background and your experience with using it?
Mm-hmm. Well, when we create our experiences, like any VR application, there's a lot of assets that go into it, including music. So all the experiences up here features music that I composed myself, features sound effects that I created myself. So I'm able to utilize a little bit of my artistic side in these applications, and then there's also the whole aspect of just coding these apps and developing the world and building them. It's like a new artistic field that I've been delving into, and it's really something I've found a lot of enjoyment out of. Just like even right now, I'm creating a metaverse headquarters for Customer XR, which is the new company, and it's just cool because you get to it's like you're building a tower. Or that's what I'm doing. I'm building like a virtual reality tower that people could come in, and it's like our headquarters. There's a conference room. There's like an entryway. There's somebody at the front desk. So, building everything and putting it together, it's almost like Legos a bit. So it's like fun. You just, get to be creative.
That's incredible. So it's literally like two worlds are colliding. You're able to use your Fizz Fonte side with your musical, artistic side, and then on your personal and professional level. It's incredible. So every time we put on a VR set and we're in a kitchen customization with Eggers, or in the basement fire with Eggers, I believe, we'll be able to hear your particular music that you laid out for that experience. Very nice. And then I also see here on the sites, you also have a roof treatment. So how does this, tell me about that?
Yeah, so the roof treatment application was for a company called RoofMax. That was our second project, and it is very similar to Egress in that it's a product demonstration application where you're basically on a roof. This company, what they do is they spray your roof, and it makes the shingles last longer. It's kind of an abstract concept to explain to people. So in this application, it's 2 minutes long. There's a voiceover that explains every aspect of it. There's a section where you actually get to spray the roof yourself. There's a section where you get to see what it's like to not have their treatment, and you see all the shingles falling off if you had to redo your roof. So it's like a super immersive way to just explain this product. And again, super successful. We had a bunch of people around the country have us build out headsets for them and ship it out, and they're using them at trade shows and sales presentations. So very effective.
Yes, so I hope to see it one day. We're right here by the Java Center, so I hope to see it on an exhibition over there. On the bathroom one that I'm seeing right here, let's see a little bit into how it actually looks and how it comes into play.
Yep. Yeah, so the mission of Customer XR obviously is to make VR and XR super accessible. So you could see in the video here, it utilizes hand tracking. We think that's a really effective way to just create an experience that you could just pop on someone's head and they just understand it because it's intuitive. They literally just look at their hands they see their hands in the experience. In this one, you can see they're tapping different objects, which is the hardware and colors that is offered by this company, Bath Fitters. And they're customizing a bath and a shower. So you get to pick out the tiles, you get to pick out what kind of shower handle, the shower head. Here you can see it starts in augmented reality, which is another design philosophy we have, where it's if you start an application in augmented reality where you could see outside the headset, it kind of eases people in a little bit easier because you're able to say, don't worry, it's not scary, you're going to see me. It's like you're wearing glasses, and people are like, all right, fine, I'll try it. So they try it on like, oh, like I see everything, it's like, no, I'm not even wearing them. And then the whole world forms around them. And then they're like, oh my God, that's so cool. And then, so it's just a really, it's a good way to just, ease people in, especially if it's their first time trying VR and they're a little hesitant.
It's incredible. Where did this idea for collaborating your two worlds start? Did this happen, like we said before, with Jhohan? Is it something that you were doing at night and it just all started to immerse? Where was that spark? Who ignited and inspired that spark?
So it was a long journey. It all started when I did this internship in college called Student Painters. And in that internship, you basically run a painting business where you paint houses and you hire all college students and you have to run all aspects of the business. You're a business owner for the first time, just for a summer. And it's like a crash course, learn by doing type of thing, which is how I learned. So I learned a lot from doing that.
So I think that goes in a little bit into what we were talking before with Jhohan and also relating to you. What would you say to somebody who's up and coming in New York City, because we're on our local channel right here? What would you give them some advice to move forward with this?
I would say if someone was like up and coming in New York, trying to get into something, get started, utilize all the tools that you have that are at your disposal. Meet as many people as you can and take in any opportunity that comes your way.
That's amazing, well, wonderful. Así que vamos a terminar con unas palabritas en español, tus redes sociales, donde lo pueden conseguir, su música y también su página de su trabajo. So if you could just tell us what are your social media accounts that we could find you at?
Yeah, you could find us at customerxr.com. We're on TikTok, Instagram. It's all just look up Customer XR. And if you want to find my music stuff, just look up Fizzanti. You can just look that up on Google. You'll find everything you need there.
Gracias por acompañarnos. Cuídense.
Cuídense.